You can leverage HubSpot's deal and ticket pipelines to manage your onboarding process. And then the power of the Arrows and HubSpot integration is that you can actually push data from those customer-facing plans into properties or fields on those deal types, which can help you eventually automate moving customers through different stages or help you run reports based on how long customers are in certain stages and other data points about your onboarding process. So to get started, what we'll want to do is actually create a new pipeline to be used for onboarding. So traditionally, pipelines are used for sales to manage prospects going from demo to lead to being a closed one or becoming an actual customer. In this case, what we're using is the same pipeline method to actually move a customer from ready for onboarding to those phases of your onboarding program to then being either completed or unresponsive or whatever end status there are to your onboarding plans. So to get started, head to the main settings in your HubSpot and then go down to objects and select deals. And then what we'll want to do is create a new pipeline. Call this something like onboarding pipeline. And then hit create. Once that pipeline is successfully created, you can come down and change the stage names to actually match those phases that are in your onboarding process. So think about those arrows plans, those phases that you're asking a customer to go through, if, for example, the kickoff phase or account setup or training, those can match those phases that are in your pipelines. So you can update all the different stage names to match those stages in your onboarding process and then hit save when you're ready. You might notice that some of these stages already have pre-filled requirements for certain fields that have to be filled out to move that deal through those stages of the pipeline. This will come in handy later when we show how to automate and require fields to actually help you manage some CRM hygiene. But for now, you'll want to open that property and then just remove all those properties to make it simple to set up and hit next. So now you have your onboarding pipeline created. You've added the different stage names. A deal probability is most commonly used for sales. It's intended to help you understand how probable is a deal to move through those different phases. We like to think of this as a probability that a customer is going to be successful with your platform. A customer is going to be happy that they signed up and are using your product. And so I think of deal probability for the onboarding pipeline. Basically, if it's increased onboarding stages, they're more probable or more likely to be successful because they're learning how to use the product and they understand how to get the most value out of it. So you can either update these to mimic some sort of progression or leave the default stages, but it is a required field that you do have to fill out. You can also delete stages completely or add more stages to match. What you'll notice is some of these do have an emoji. That is really to help me identify which one of these are customer-facing phases. So these are likely the ones I'm going to have in my Arrows onboarding plan as well. And then the internal ones are more for my own tracking or reporting purposes. So ready for onboarding is like a holding column where I want customers to first land before I determine who they're assigned to on the team or which plan I want to share with them. The other phases in here, like getting started, kickoff calls, that's when I actually start communicating to customers. This is the plan we're going to use. Here's what's going to happen in the next X amount of weeks or days. And then stages like completed or completed partial or unresponsive, these are more for my internal tracking to understand where customers are ending up. I'll show you in a future video how you can attach required fields to these to make sure that CRM hygiene is being maintained. So now if I actually head back to my main deals page from the sales tab, I can make sure the toggle is set to this deals board view and then select the onboarding pipeline we just created. And now you'll see a stage pipeline for the different onboarding phases that we just created in that new pipeline. We'll eventually use these to create deals for each customer who's going through onboarding, and then that can help us measure where they are in the process, help us eventually understand how much time is in each of these phases, and give us a good overview of where everyone is in that onboarding process, just like you have visibility into the sales cycle.